overwhelmed trying to navigate the school system to meet your child's needs? Educational Equity Advisors is here to help. Led by Alyssa Malaspina, a board-certified special education advocate with over 25 years of experience, Educational Equity Advisors specializes in guiding parents through the complexities of school districts, including securing 504 plans, IEPs, and out-of-district placements when necessary. Educational Equity Advisors believes that income should never be a barrier to getting your child the education they deserve. That's why Educational Equity Advisors offers free consultations and sliding scale payment options to make their services accessible to all families. Discover how Educational Equity Advisors can empower you to be your child's strongest advocate. Visit Educational Equity Advisors today and take the first step towards educational equity for your family. For more information, please check out educationalequityadvisors.com. Again, that's educationalequityadvisors.com. Welcome to the SOMA Talks Podcast, sponsored by Davis Advocacy and Consulting, Coda Kitchen, elevated by the Canada Boss Lady Dispensary, and Educational Equity Advisors. I am Lee Allen, and once again, I am joined by Ileana. My baby moves at midnight, goes right on till the dawn. My woman takes me higher. My woman keeps me warm. Castillo!
Hi, Lee.
That's from the Bee Gees. You should be
that's
dancing.
the Bee Gees?
Yeah, from the Bee Gees. You should be dancing. You know that song, right?
Can you give me?
You should. Okay. Okay. What? Okay. The next line is, "What you doing on your bed on your back? Ah, what you doing on your bed on your back? You should be dancing, yeah.
Oh God, no Lord.
Dancing, yeah.
Were you listening to the Bee Gees this morning or something?
Yeah. But you should be. What you doing on your bed on your back? Ah, what you doing on your bed on your back? You should be dancing. So I always thought it was like, I didn't think it was like any word specifically. What you doing on your bed on your back? Ah.
For the record, I'm eye rolling at Lee right now.
Come on, that's a great song. You don't like the Bee Gees?
I do. That was way before my time.
Ah.
I'm a 70. Oh no, I'm giving out my age already. But I'm a Generation X girl.
So I wasn't sure if I was going to do that. I was going to do, hey, ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Ileana Haktua, that thing, Castillo. That was the other one I was kind of going to go with.
What is that?
Haktua. The Haktua girl. You got a Haktua, that thing? Don't you? Do you ever check out TikTok? Or,
I do.
Okay, well, the Haktua girl. Everybody knows the Haktua girl. All right, well.
Oh my God.
Anyway.
I'm so far.
All right, so I could pull out the TikTok videos. Nah, she's got like millions of hits, the Haktua girl.
Oh,
anyway.
really?
Yeah, so anyway, so Ileana, I am so happy we're doing a podcast today, and guess what we are not going to be talking about?
Oh, I know. Board of Ed.
The Board of Ed, spelled B-O-R-E-D.
Yeah, we got to give it a rest.
Right? Yeah, I have so. Michael Goldberg, as a matter of fact, he reaches out to me and he says, please, whatever you guys do, no more Board of Ed. I'm so bored of the Board of Ed, which is kind of, think about that. Michael Goldberg just went to his 100 Springsteen concert.
I know.
He's not bored at 100 Springsteen concerts, and he's bored with this. So think about that for a second.
For a second.
He finds Springsteen more interesting than Jeff Bennett, apparently.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I don't know. The elections is over. We already know who won. If there's something that really happened on the Board of Ed or in any school district, something that, we have to talk about, we'll talk about it.
Yeah, we'll talk about it. But look, they got elected. They're in. They got time to relax, and we don't need to bother them anymore. So best of luck to everybody.
No, I hope they're having their Sleeping Beauty because January, they're going to have it tough.
But I've been reaching out to some other people for potential. I reached out to Sheena Collum. She said she wants to come on. She was thinking about coming on this week, but she couldn't because, listen to this, she is at the League of Municipalities conference in Atlantic City. You hear the League of Municipalities conference. I mean, who would blow off the SOMA Talks podcast to go to that, right?
We have a couple of good guests that are coming up
we
soon.
have a great guest today, as a matter of fact. But yes,
I know. It's a unicorn, guys.
That's right. Yeah. So we've got a lot of fun things to look forward to. But regarding last week's podcast, before we introduce our guest, I just want to talk a little bit of last week's podcast. We had Bennett on. I got some feedback, but none of it was actually specific about the podcast. It was everybody who hit me up was like, did Dean really go to a party he wasn't invited to? That was that was basically what they were talking about.
I don't know if he was invited or not.
Now I feel kind of bad because we were goofing around, but everybody...
No, I think he was very gracefully too, as he should.
Yeah,
he came and congratulated the winners and everything. Were there some eye rollings? Yes, there was comments behind it, but I give props for Dean. He did show up. He congratulated the people with Malia and Deborah, and they did their rounds and they left. So
a friend of mine in high school who listens to the podcast reached out to me and he says, "You did that, Lee." Once, like, what are you talking about? So apparently, and this is the kids still talk about this. In 7th grade, this girl Janine, hot girl, had a party, and I was not invited. I had the hots for her. She hated me. She invited everybody except for me, but I went to the party anyway because she was so hot. And basically, she was mad. I wanted to leave. She's screaming at her parents. She made a big deal about it. She wanted me to leave, but her parents couldn't kick me out. I was 7th grade. I mean, they would call my father, come pick me up or something. You just couldn't throw a 7th grader out in the street. So that's why I got to stay now. But in Dean's case, they couldn't call like his parents to come pick him up, right?
I cannot believe people reach out to you only to talk about that specific.
Right. So Dean, so that was Dean's excuse too,
you
right?
see that Soma likes the little gossip thing. Out of everything that Jeff said, that's the one that kind of focused on the little.
But that was it. That was what they talked about. It was unbelievable. So, so that was basically last week. We were happy to have him on. We're going to have on more important people moving forward.
Don't say the name, so it could be a surprise. But
that's right. Yeah, I'm just looking at my notes to see if there's anything else I wanted to mention before we introduce our guest, and I don't think there is. So, Ileana, would you like to introduce our guest, or shall I?
Oh my God! Yes, guys, we have a unicorn. So
we have. Right, if you read SOMA Talks regularly, and everybody should be, what's nice about your site, Ileana, again, is that all voices have an opportunity to be heard. Left, right, blue, red, green, black,
everything,
white. I mean, it's so you don't, as opposed to some of these other sites that are like, he said what? You don't do that.
Well, a lot of people wanted us to invite someone this person that is,
and that's how you learn. And that's how you learn.
Yeah.
So, ladies and gentlemen, please give it up for Nick Mensa, everybody.
Hey
guys, how's it going?
How you doing,
Thanks
my
for
friend?
having me. I'm doing well. Thank you for asking.
All right, you're a good-looking guy. You look like myself a little bit, right? Right. He's got the same hair, right? A little bit, maybe a little less gray in the beard. But
the only thing you guys have the blue eyes in common, and white boys.
So the first thing, Nick,
you're a unicorn.
Definitely, I noticed that.
A unicorn being what now?
Unicorn that people think that they don't exist, but hey, we found one.
In the area, gotcha. Now, Nick, Ileana's first question: are you rich and Jewish? That's that's the first thing she would like to know. And single. Those are the 3 things that she asked.
You know what? People have reached out to me saying like, "Oh, we heard that you really want a Jewish with the dude."
Really
yeah, I've had a couple of people ask me then.
Yeah. Any rich Jewish guys?
No,
single ask you that?
I really no, not. But other people have asked me, like, is it true that you really want to be with the Jewish people? They have.
Right now, Nick, I don't know what your thought is on rich Jewish guys, but you must be friends with a few. You're a lifelong Maplewoodian. Am I to understand that?
That is true. Yes, I'm actually half Jewish, so I'm half rich.
Oh,
and
really?
Right. Yeah. So,
from mom or dad's side?
My mom's side.
Mom's side.
So you were raised Jewish then?
Actually, technically, we weren't. It was kind of like a dual thing. So we did a little bit of Christmas. We put up the Hanukkah, the whole thing, the menorah, all that stuff.
A little bit of everything.
So correct me if I'm wrong. Now you've lived here your whole life. You grew up. You went to Columbia High School.
Yes.
You're on the site. You're on SOMA Talks, and you tend to take up some right wing positions, which is very interesting. Obviously today because. In SOMA, I don't think that's allowed.
Pretty much, yeah. I stirred up hot.
Right. So
actually, we had a lot of people. A lot of our listeners really wanted us to invite someone from the wing side, the right side.
Yeah, I mean, just someone that represents.
The other minority.
I guess it's a minority, which is crazy because I moved here some 20-something years ago. There was a Republican Party here. They had some position of authority. Grassmere had been the mayor, not shortly, before I got here. He was a Republican mayor. So
didn't the Republicans were at the beginning?
Was a
very Republican at the beginning.
Very conservative.
So growing
middle
up,
of the line.
Middle of the line. So it wasn't unusual to be a Republican growing up here, and when did you start to notice the tide kind of, changing where it kind of became a little uncomfortable to walk around and, put your Bush, lawn sign down or a Trump lawn sign or...
I mean, I would say I moved out of town for a while. I came back in around 2019.
Okay.
So I know prior to that, because my parents have always lived in town, I noticed I think a lot of it kind of changed around 2015, maybe 16.
Right.
It became very polarized.
Yeah.
And I think with the Midtown Direct coming in, there was a lot of people coming from the city and Brooklyn and things along that nature. So I think as people started coming in that were more liberal, it just kind of, I guess, took over the town in a sense.
Right. Yeah. So it was definitely like you came here a little bit differently and you're like, hey, I'm still myself. I'm the same guy I was 5 years ago, 10 years ago when I had 1,000 friends that I come in. All of a sudden people kind of, I can't be as outspoken maybe as I want to be about certain things.
More or less. I mean, I wasn't always very outspoken. It was just kind of like politics and religion were, weren't really discussed a lot.
Off the table a little bit.
It wasn't really like, oh, I have to prove I'm this, I have to prove I'm that. It was just like, oh, I'm half Jewish, I'm half Catholic, I'm,
Right. I
wouldn't even say like I'm like Republican. I'm just kind of like not really into like the whole push of the left wing agenda.
So you were never a long life Republican. You were more. Did you start as a Democrat and then you kind of shifted independence, or did you?
My views were like in high school and college were,
liberal.
I mean,
I think we all started as liberal. Everybody started.
I mean, I didn't really care. Like, I wasn't going to, like, we didn't have protests in college. Or if we did, I didn't even know it. Because we were busy. We just wanted to go out drinking, get laid,
That was basically it.
We didn't have like, oh my God, like this person's hurt. That's a certain position or, skin color. It was just kind of like you hung out. You did whatever you did. No one was really judge people like that. It was
when I was
normal.
a kid, it was like what band you listened to was kind of like how he's into Zeppelin, he's into the Dead, or he's into U2, and then if you went to U2, everybody hated you. You know what I mean? That was
really?
Yeah, they were like ew, But so you come back to town and. Now, are you doing the SOMA Lounge thing or?
Oh God, no! I don't think I'd be allowed in there for.
So you
30
Are
seconds.
you in that group or no?
No, I don't know. Maybe years back, before I came back to SOMA Talks, I was off Facebook for like 5 years.
Got it.
I was just trying to stay away from all that media, everything, and I just kind of.
For your mental health, I think it's the right idea.
Yeah, I mean, it was also right after the 2020 election. I kind of just, thank God I missed COVID and all the drama with the vaccines and things like that were going on. Even when I checked back with SOMA, it was obviously a huge topic, and luckily I just wasn't really involved in those conversations because I kind of like after the way that I was kind of observing things, I kind of take everything with a grain of salt. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Especially after witnessing what we kind of witnessed with COVID.
Yeah.
But before that, when Trump first initially started running in 2016, I wasn't really a big fan of him at all. Like he was all right. Like I knew he had a show. I knew he was a billionaire. All the celebrities loved him.
Yeah.
And all the celebrities loved him. And all the politicians
loved
took
his
money from him.
They all liked his checks.
Yes.
And then, he was very like what you would say New York liberal. He didn't care. He was very open about the LGBTQ, all that stuff. He didn't really care. You just do your job and work. And that's pretty much it. And then I really wasn't a big fan of him. I was actually, back in 2016, I was pushing towards Ben Carson.
Okay, yeah.
Because I liked the idea that he was just a very, very intelligent person. And I felt that he's not starving for that media attention type of thing. He would just get behind the desk and do his job. The media ate him up because of his religion. So
What religion is he?
I think he's Catholic.
Oh, Catholic.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he's very religious in that sense. And I just saw how the media kind of turned on him. Mm-hmm. And then I watched kind of how Trump really threw in this rock of like into a lake and rippled the whole system. And then I saw them all, once he started picking up like popularity, I mean, he was on The View. They were hugging and kissing him in 2016.
Right.
But then when he started actually getting up in the polls, and they started seeing him as being a legit person, all of a sudden it was like, all of them like attacked him. And I was kind of like, this is something I like to see because DC has been so normal. It really didn't matter.
It was to drain the swamp and so some of the promises he made. Now, because this is, I have trouble, when exactly in your mind, all of a sudden, did it go from like, I like the guy, he's a New Yorker, he's a, progressive guy. I just burped, by the way, Ileana.
Oh, God.
Yeah, did you hear that? Yeah,
No.
that was,
I smelled it.
Yeah, I know. Next time I'm going to do it loud. I don't even know why I held it in. I should have let it go. But when do you feel that, especially in these neck of the woods, where all of a sudden it was like, wow, you like Donald Trump, you're a racist, you're a Nazi, and all these horrible things that...
I think that happened more in his second term. The first term, you didn't really hear about that very much.
When his second term hasn't started yet? Oh,
his first term, when he ran in 2016, when he won.
But Nick, was there a feeling that you got like, oh God, maybe I got to put this in my back pocket a little bit, or not be, people, I'm getting some pushback on...
Yeah, I mean, I remember it was probably 2016. It was Halloween. I wasn't living in town at that point. I was out in Somerset County, and I was actually decorating outside, and actually for Halloween. And right before that, we had a little like barbecue or whatever. And my brother-in-law and my sister came over, and they brought me one of their Trump signs because they bought two. And I was like, oh, this is going to make the neighbors over here freak out because everyone else had like Hillary, and a couple people had it then. And then I'm decorating like the next weekend. And as I'm decorating for Halloween, I walk inside to get a drink or something, and I come back out, and all of a sudden I'm like, where did my sign go?
Yeah.
It was gone. And then they took a white ghost, and they skipped the house next to me, which is a Hillary, and then the next house had a Trump, and they took that one.
Oh, so somebody was dressed in a costume.
No, we ended up finding
it was like somebody came out of nowhere.
Yeah, because I was outside, literally I went inside, went to the kitchen, came back outside, and I'm like, wait a minute.
Yes.
Wasn't that just there? Because I was going to try to incorporate it into the decorations.
Yeah.
So my wife at the time, she noticed it, and she was on the couch, and she gets up and she gets into her car, and she's driving down the block, and she's like, and she found they found the sign down. No, they was down the block. They stepped on it and all that stuff, and she brought it back.
Right.
And then I incorporated it within the direct decorations, and the webbing and things like that. And I was like, you know what? Let's play along with this, and we just kind of kept it pushing, and then just.
It's an amazing thing. So you start to say, wow, they're stealing my sign. I don't think lawn signs were ever stolen, and probably until like.
I don't remember that when Trump ran the first time in 2016. I don't remember things were that heated that people were stealing signs like that.
It's definitely I think. This is 8 years later, right? We're
talking about 2016 when he won the first term.
In this area here, think about how many more people have moved here from 2016 to 2024.
Yeah, things were not like that bad then. No.
And and you have these the social justice
I personally
groups
didn't think Trump was going to win in 2016. I voted for Hillary, and I was like, "There's no way this guy's going to win over Hillary," and boom, he won.
Yeah. Well, I knew Trump was going to win because I get it. I always predict things correctly.
Oh, really?
That's just me. Yeah. So, right. But anything else would you like to know about my prediction about something that happened already? Yes, I predicted that the Dodgers were going to win the World Series this year. I predicted that Trump was going to win the election. I predicted that Biden was going to win the last election. I predicted that we were going to boot Biden out. They were going to kick him out, and they were going to anoint Kamala Harris. I predicted all that.
Nice.
But okay, so let's get your perspective, Nick, on what and Ileana. So it's exactly what I just said. So Biden is the nominee. He's going to be running for re-election.
For the record, this is interesting because I'm a centrist. You lean more to the left side, and you lean, Nick, more to the right wing. So we're all in different perspective when you think about it.
Yes. And so I'm actually heard what Ileana just said. I lean to the left. So the next time you go after one of our sponsors, here's what you want to say. That Democrat is talking. Anyway, but so anyway, I'm still very aggravated about that.
But to be fair, for all three, when did all of us felt like things change in here in Maplewood? Because I moved here in 2010.
Yeah.
You moved here?
To 98. I think it was 98. Yeah, December 98.
98. And you were raised here. You moved out and then come back in 2016.
Right.
Yep.
Correct?
A little bit later.
So a little bit later. Okay. So when do you guys felt the shift of things? Like because everybody agrees that we live in a bubble.
Yeah. As far as the shift in this area here, when I first moved here, I had all my neighbors were older. They were all in their 70s.
And the shift meaning that you could see Republicans would speak and they would have no issue.
When the taxes went up here, and it was the people who lived here their whole lives probably parents, your parents' age, had to sell because the taxes were 20, 25, 30, whatever it is, and new people moved in. And I think it's just the newer, younger generation of progressives from Brooklyn West.
So what year we're talking about when?
I would say probably
2016-ish, I'd say.
Yeah.
After
Because
the
when I
election,
moved here in 2010, I met a lot of Republicans,
Yeah,
as much as Democrat, and they didn't care say it out loud, like, yeah, I'm a Republican, everything.
Art Christensen and Ed May. Remember when Ed May ran for office and people thought he had a chance to win? The Republicans had a foothold here, but they don't even put candidates out to run anymore for township committee or anything like that. Nobody wants to attach their name.
It's weird.
It's weird. So let me ask you, Nick. So you see, Kamala Harris is kind of anointed, right, for lack of a better word.
True. Mm-hmm.
As a Republican, what were your thoughts on the Democrats and where they made their mistakes and how they didn't win re-election? Because again, I read you on SOMA Talks. I see that you're schooled. You know what you're talking about. So this is interesting to me.
I feel it goes back further. I feel that it even happened in 2008.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like Hillary was the one that was kind of pulling, I guess, the lead, if you will. And then I think they pulled her in the back and said, "Hey, listen, we want Obama.
Yeah,
we'll give you something in his administration, and we'll work you up the ladder. We'll give you 2016." And I think 2016, Bernie was actually doing a lot better.
Yeah,
because I knew a lot of Sanders fans.
Sanders has a lot of fans here too.
I mean, one of my good friends back then, he was campaigning for him.
Right.
And he was at my barbecue when my sister brought over the Trump thing, and we were fine. We weren't.
Yeah, the guy's not like Lee. He's not having a temper tantrum and leaving.
It was.
Right.
We were just discussing how he was spending his time off, because he worked like seasonal jobs and things like that. So everything was fine. And then I think that, like I said, Sanders kind of got bumped for Hillary.
Yeah, he did.
And then again, Sanders in 2020, he was doing better, but they wanted to put an establishment person that was kind of like how they sold Biden. They sold him as normalcy.
I agree there. I've always said, you know what, I don't agree with Bernie Sanders on a lot of his positions. He's a little too, a socialist. Ideals just don't work for me. But I've always said, if the Democrats, the progressive wing of the Democrats, who I think really should have a better control of that party right now, that's their guy. That's the guy that says what he thinks and thinks what he says. Mm-hmm. And they just right. You're right. They said nope, not you against Hillary. Nope, not you against Biden. I don't really understand. So and then they kind of attack the right. The Republicans are saying that they don't stand for democracy, and to me, I think the Democrats have really pulled some bullshit lately that they're going to have to address in 4 years. And I think it's a clean house of getting rid of Pelosi and getting rid of Schumer, and really just saying it's the next generation of Democrats, which I may not necessarily be a huge part of if they're too progressive. But I think that's where the party should be. I think the right wing has said we have what we want, and the left wing is like we don't have what we want, and the Democrats, we want these centrists. And I don't know. What are your thoughts on that, Nick?
I'd agree. I feel like it was funny when I remember when Bernie was running in 2016. I thought to myself, how funny it would be if Trump and him teamed up, because they were very outside of their normal party.
Yeah.
But I call it the uniparty, not because like Sanders is outside of liberal.
Yeah.
And then Trump was not a typical Republican.
He was not a typical
He was more
right-winger.
center. He was more center.
Well, wasn't he a Democrat at one point, Trump?
Yeah.
Was he? I don't know if he's ever a registered Democrat. You might be
I
right.
don't think he was a registered, but he was a Democrat.
Yeah. He certainly donated to plenty of Democrats. I mean, Hillary Clinton and Bill were at his wedding. I mean, I mean, so it's crazy, but So, and I don't know. It's if. You must so if you write something positive about Trump, like we're talking right now, what might the feedback be on social media? I mean, are people just very accusatory to you? Do you ever get hate mail?
It's more it's a love-hate. Either somebody loves it and they agree, or they're just saying, you're in a cult. And I'm like, I'm not in a cult. I don't like politics. I think it's really become nothing but just a divisive thing.
Yeah.
There's so many more things in common with us, but we're sitting there arguing over like this petty stuff. Yeah. And as I'm watching the media kind of going after him, it just reassured me even more that I'm picking the right candidate. Mm-hmm. Because if there's one thing, they're all connected. It all comes down to business and money. And, Trump, when he was running in 2016, he's like, I'm not using anybody's funds but my own.
Right.
Whether or not how much that was true or not, I'm sure he got his donations, but he ran on the fact that I'm not attached to anybody. Like I said, whether or not that's true or not, it sounded good. just like most things that politicians might come out and say, you're like, okay, I like that idea, but are they really going to do it?
To be fair on Nick, when you post about your opinions on SOMA Talk, there are a lot of Democrats that listen to you. I've seen some healthy debates with you, like good Democrats having debates with you. I know that some of them can get a little carried away and make some accusations, but most of the time, let's say 80, 70%, they do have good debates with you. They might not agree with it, but it's a good debate, and I like that. Now, if you go to another group like Maplewood Moms or Lounge, you know you're going to get kicked out of the group.
Exactly,
like,
which I think is
definitely.
really such a bad take. Like, talk about an echo chamber. It's like, okay, so I don't agree with you, so we're banishing you. That's actually the opposite of what they're trying to preach about democracy. And
Well, didn't you read John Sarantaki's post recently that he said that 90% of SOMA voted for Harris, and they were like,
Right.
okay. Did you read that?
Yeah.
And he said, like, we're living in this is not as diverse as people think
Exactly.
this town is. Like, he wanted to hear people's thoughts. You remember that?
Yeah, looking
post?
right now. Yeah, 92% for Harris. Looking at the final results, SOMA voted 92% for Harris. That was more than Montclair, Newark, Manhattan, Detroit, Philly, Cambridge, Berkeley. I mean, so basically what he's saying is that the rest of the country is maybe saying, I don't know about that Kamala Harris. Maybe Trump's makes a little bit more sense for business, for jobs, for opportunity, immigration, border, illegal immigration, but here it was like, nope.
Well, let me ask you this.
It was like,
why?
She is the greatest thing, and you have to vote for her, or we're not talking to you. We're kicking off our site.
No,
we're not talking to you
but
again.
let me ask you this.
Yes.
Why do you think many Democrats voted for Trump? Because, come on, look at the votes.
I would say,
Like, it surpassed so much.
inflation.
Nobody expected so much for him
I
to
would say
win. Even the popular vote.
inflation, crime, and the border. I mean, that to me, right, Nick? I mean, is that what?
I'm sure a lot of Democrats was like, I really don't want to vote for him, but I really don't have no much option. Like, I feel like people had that hard time.
My father used to say, "You vote with your pocketbook." You
Right.
know? Yeah. I mean,
one of my buddies,
Well, he said wallet because he's a dude. But, but I'm metrosexual, so.
Oh, God.
Yeah, so I vote with my pocketbook. Yeah.
Like, why? I mean, a lot of people voted for Trump and here, and Maplewood, at least 500 people voted for Trump, believe it or not.
I mean, it's so polarized because I was talking to one of my good friends, and I think he voted Biden. He basically votes Democrat every time. He said they're both terrible. I'm flipping a coin, and he flipped a coin. He said it landed on Trump. So I voted for Trump.
All right.
Oh, wow.
So,
Just like
I mean,
that.
there's some people that would,
I think plenty of people walked to the
Worked
polls
that
not
out.
sure what the hell they did. And clearly they weren't telling people they were voting for Trump because the polls were showing that he had no chance. So,
But look at New Jersey.
yeah.
How
New
close it
Jersey
was.
was very close.
Yeah.
When you see the map,
Yeah.
all in the middle, which is Union County, Exit County, they all went for Harris. But if you go north, Trump. You went south,
west,
Trump. It was
yeah.
completely red. And it was like, people are starting thinking like the tides are changing a little bit.
Yes.
So again, I asked the question, why do you think is that? Do we really think it's because of the border, or is it because the inflation is high? Like,
Yeah, I think it's inflation.
why did
Yeah,
people
that's-
felt like Trump was better candidate than?
Because we saw his hand, and we were probably living better then. Even my girlfriend says to me, she's like, I make more money now, but I'm not saving a penny right now. It's like everything is so expensive.
To buying stuff, right? Yeah,
I
from-
know. I hate going to the
it's terrible,
supermarket. I
you
really
know?
do.
So we're going to take a quick break, and we will be right back. SOMA Talks Podcast.
I've said it before, and I'll say it again. Democracy simply doesn't work.
Davis Advocacy and Consulting, also known as DAC, is your trusted partner in legal solutions. From business law to civil rights, DAC is here to tackle all your legal needs. With specialized services in employment law, trust and estates, education, medical malpractice, and civil rights, DAC is here to be your trusted advisor. Let DAC guide you through the complexities of the legal system and secure the outcomes you deserve. Contact Davis Advocacy and Consulting today for reliable and tailored support. The website is calldac.com. Again, that's calldac.com. Davis Advocacy and Consulting, turning advocacy into empowerment. And we're back here on the SOMA Talks podcast. You should be dancing, Ileana.
Oh my God, here we go again with the beat.
What you doing on your bed, on your back? Ah!
Oh God.
You don't think that I worked on that like, what you doing on your bed, on your back? I worked on that like all afternoon.
Really?
Yeah, I thought you were going to love it. You know, I thought you were going to, but anyway. By the way, Nick, have you met Ileana before? Is this your first time meeting her?
First time.
First time, yes.
Is she much more beautiful in person than she is on SOMA Talks?
I didn't know who she was.
Oh, so you saw her pictures on Facebook.
And I saw her from afar at the
she has a lot
restaurant
of
a couple
profiles.
weeks
yeah,
ago.
you did mention
So you
that.
saw all the pictures on Facebook, where she the selfies and all the.
Oh my
Yeah,
God.
yeah, yeah,
My
so-
selfie days are over.
Not me. I don't know. I don't know if you saw my selfies this weekend. I was at the Jets game.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I did see a bunch of your pictures on the jet. Look at you.
Yeah. They lost again. The Jets. And I don't know. Are you a Jets fan, by the way, Nick, or a football fan or anything like that?
I mean, I would say Giants, but we'll go. I'll push for the Jets just because they're a little bit better.
Nick, I have this question I'm dying to
By the way,
ask.
Nick, look at this picture of Ileana.
Oh,
Look at
God.
that. Look at how good you
Was
look
that that's
there.
on Facebook?
Yeah,
I think
Yeah,
I was looking
that's
at-
my
yeah.
profile picture.
Yes.
Nick, quick question.
I like
As
this
a-
one, by the way. Look at that.
Oh,
Look,
yeah, my
look at
witch one.
Yeah, witch's hat there. Yes.
Oh,
I like that picture.
stop.
I'm gonna keep this picture.
What?
Yeah, I'm gonna make it my profile. my profile picture.
Oh, God. Quick question, Nick. Sure. Being a right wing, what's the worst you've heard that people have told you here in SOMA?
Yeah, what's the worst thing? Yeah, someone's ever said to you once they know who you
You-
are.
yeah, and where you're
I've
inclined
gotten that
politically.
before. Oh, SOMA Talks podcast. Oh, I have a bone to pick with you, and they'll sit there and they'll say something, usually rude about Ileana, but
Really?
No.
No one's ever really said anything to my face.
Not to your face, but online.
Oh, online?
Like, what
I
is
mean-
the ridiculous thing you're like, I cannot believe this person just called me that?
I guess bigot or racist is kind
The
of like the
racist
word.
is very
Yeah.
common.
It's very common. I'm like sitting there. I'm like, well, this is my girlfriend, and
that's
she's black, African American. So it's kind of like that's really like a shell shock
a weird
to people.
thing. So that's a weird that your girlfriend's African American. Did you say your girlfriend or wife? Or
Girlfriend.
Girlfriend. Oh, okay.
I asked the same question
yeah.
to.
So what color is your wife?
Oh, God, you guys.
How do you like that one?
Right.
Funny.
I asked the same thing to James Davis because I'm always being called a racist, and James Davis is black and African American, and I asked him like, James, do you really think I'm racist? Like really? And he was like, Ileana, if I really think you were racist, I wouldn't be your friend.
Right.
Right.
But
I wouldn't be your friend either, by the way.
Oh, come on. But no, I know I do. I get hated a lot. I know.
And you get it because of the fact that you're diverse enough in opinion where every opinion you're interested in. You want to learn from people.
Well, you gotta
And
remember-
you don't shut them down, and as soon as they say something
Right.
you don't necessarily agree
No,
with.
because if you don't follow if you're not with
the
them, you're
company
against
line.
them. Exactly.
The company line, right?
So if I don't agree, that automatically makes me a troll or a racist. And
Right.
as soon as they don't have a good argument, they throw the word racist because they lost the argument, and you're like, oh, come on.
That's what it seems to me. Yeah, it seems to me that that at the end of the day, they throw their arms up in the air and they say, you're telling me facts and I'm telling you opinion, so you're a racist. And
Pretty much. I feel like that started with Obama because that was always the excuse. Oh, you don't support Obama, you're a racist.
yeah,
It's like,
yeah.
no, I just don't support Obama.
Right.
You know what
Yeah,
I mean?
I
It
have
was
issues
just
with
one
his
of those things.
policies.
Yes.
I have issues with Obamacare. I have issues with right. I mean, Ileana, I'm telling you right now, when you and I change SOMA, we get it to be the centrist haven that we're looking for. I just want you to know that you were going to get all the credit for it, and someday,
I know about that.
someday they're going to name a street after you here in SOMA.
No,
Yeah.
boy.
So, you know the street with the where they paint the
Dude, they will be marching on the Maple Township Committee against that.
Yeah. So so Nick, so you live with your girlfriend? You have kids? Did I ask you that before?
I do have I have one daughter.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
okay.
from my previous marriage.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. So and your daughter goes.
Oh, you're in
is
the
it-
school system now.
Oh yeah.
Who did you vote in, if you can say? Who did you vote for the Board of
the
Ed?
Board
Who
of
were
Ed,
you
yeah,
inclining
yeah,
for?
BBK.
Oh, you went for
Alright.
BBK?
Very good.
What did you feel that? Why did you vote for them and not from
Yeah,
the
Michael
other
Goldberg
ones?
right now is going boring. He's
Yeah.
going boring. Change the subject.
No, as a Republican, as a right winger, it would be curious to see where
Yeah.
I just felt it needed change.
Yeah.
Got a new super. Let's put in some new people. figure out what we can do to make things better for the kids.
See, you have things in common with the Democrats.
I know.
Right, yeah. Well, they actually ran as nonpartisan, the Board of Ed elections, right? So there's no, it wasn't, there's not a Republican or a Democrat when you run, which is nice. South Orange, by the way, does that too. You don't run as under a party banner.
So you think that you wanted a change in the...
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And look, when in doubt, vote them out. I mean, right? That was basically.
They won overwhelmingly. They were like, Jeff Bennett corrected me, 9,000 votes. The other ones had 5 or 4 or 5.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think they got to 6. They could be. Don't quote me. But that's good of you, Will Baby K.
Now, how close are you living now to where you grew up? Similar neighborhood, streets?
Same house.
Oh, same house.
Same house.
So, what's the difference in the neighbors? Would you say? Because I would say, is 80% of the people that you grew up with gone? I mean, it's just been such turnover in this community.
I would say probably 90%. I know a couple of people that are still around, but majority of people are either Morris County. Somerset, or even out of state.
Right, yeah. I don't. Do you know Paul J. Haley?
Yes.
Yeah, he moved to North Carolina and
smart.
Yeah, smart.
Yeah, smart.
And word is he's not coming back ever. So little no, but
Darn, I wanted to jam with him a little bit.
You did?
Yeah,
I would like to. Yeah.
Yeah. Paul's a very good musician, actually. Yeah, very good singer too. Which I hate to admit because he's one of these things. Like I went to see his band play once, and I'm like, I'm gonna sit there and make fun of him, and he was good. And I hate when that happens.
It was funny. I was listening to his podcast when you had him on.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
And he mentioned Maple Stock.
Right. Yes.
The band I was in back in the day. We were on the first Maple Stock.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, it was just like on the back of a trailer type of thing.
Right. Yeah. That was like that's exactly what it was.
It was like just started. It was like maybe 100 people.
It was
wow. The first Maple was. What year was that?
I would say 01, 02.
That wasn't even.
Yeah, it was just basically the whole idea was like, hey, we have a clever name. Let's goof around.
And
with
look how much is growing.
I couldn't believe it when people were telling me.
It's getting to a point that they're saying that they might change venue because it's growing so much that they had to take the other side. To put the food court and the beer garden, all that, so more people can enjoy the band.
So what do you play?
A guitar.
So are you looking for a singer? Because I don't know if you know, but I sing, right, Ileana?
Oh yeah, his voice is like an angel.
You can be a backup singer.
Oh no, I'm horrible.
The tambourine, the triangle.
No, I can do the triangle.
Well, I'm a lead singer, Ileana, so no triangle for me. So what was the name of your band?
We were called Person.
Person. All right, yeah. And that back then, was there a headliner the first one, or was headliner just like the local?
It was just local people. I think we were actually.
Who wants to go last?
Yeah,
right?
We'll go last. I think I don't remember. It was probably like 4 bands, maybe.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
and now look,
I can't believe how big it got. I was like, holy
huge.
cow! I was like, I should get the band back together, do a little reunion.
Even people from other towns come to this.
Yeah.
Like the last Maple Woodstock, I had a tent, and people were like, "Oh, I came from this town, this town." I was like, "Wow,
People
you did
travel from New York.
Yeah. I'm like, "Wow, look at this."
No, I ran into a friend of mine who lives in the city, Lower East Side. I mean, he didn't even know I lived
Jewish?
yeah, but
not single.
All my friends are Jewish, Ileana. That's a requirement.
I have a mix of friends. I'm very eclectic. Like I got a little bit of everything.
Not me, all Jews for me. But no, actually, it was one of my oldest friends growing up, and it was 4 Jews and an Italian guy. That was 5 of us were pals growing up. And my Italian friend, what happened was when we were like 13 or 14, he decided to start hanging out with like the tough Italian kids in the neighborhood. And they got arrested, like drinking beer or like whatever. So his mother, Italian woman, was furious. Like, "Oh, hang out with your Jewish friends. I want you to hang out with your Jewish friends," because we didn't get in trouble. So,
are your friends? So all your friends are Jewish?
They're all Jewish. Yeah, they're all wealthy too. Yeah. So.
Oh really?
Yeah,
my top friends are African American. My top friends are either gay, Korean, Japanese. My best friend from DR, she's half Dominican, half Japanese.
Oh,
her father's from Japan, and her mom is Dominican. Very interesting marriage.
I bet she's quite attractive.
She's lesbian.
Oh, okay. Well,
She's lesbian, but
you know.
love her to death.
well,
I like I said, got gay. My friends are so eclectic. That's why I
Yeah.
laugh when they call racist. It's like, oh, if you see my catalog of friends,
So,
you're
yeah, so you got Japanese, Dominican, lesbian, and they still say that you're a right,
African American.
Yeah.
One of my closest friends in DR. She's dark skinned, and
What about here in Maplewood? You don't have to say who it is, but are they white, black, green, blue? Are they named John Sarantakis?
Unicorns.
no unicorns.
John Sarantakis is your best friend, right? I think so.
John Tedekar's is one of my best friends.
Yeah,
yes,
yeah,
he's
yeah.
gay. Yeah, John Tedekar's. Yes, he's most of my friends in Maplewood are white.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
There's probably I got like 2 African Americans that are really nice to me. Yeah.
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 No, I have friends from all. I was talking about the Jewish thing.
I have a couple of
but-
nice Jewish friends too.
Yeah, but I just because I complain a lot, so that I fit in more with the Jews. Here we complain. We're not feeling well. I don't. You know. I mean, if I hang out with non-Jews, they go, "What's the matter?" My stomach goes, "Why are you mentioning it?" Because that's what we do. We mention when we're not feeling. So half of you, right, is like that, right?
The left side of me is all
right. The left side of you is
messed
like, "Ow, my shoulder," and the right side of me is like, "I could run through a brick wall." Right? Yes.
Pretty much.
That's pretty much.
So Nick,
So
you
these
know,
are the things to look forward to when you meet your Jewish guy. You know,
Yes.
all his complaints,
Have a
all
notepad.
his ailments. Yes.
Little stethoscope.
yeah, we talk about it so much. You know, I'm not gonna end up with a Jewish guy.
You never know.
We're probably scaring them. Like I used to like her, not anymore.
Yes, right there. They stopped listening to the podcast.
Yeah, now they're stopped listening. Yeah, now we know.
Right, because they've heard enough of. Well, we were going to have the Jewish dating game actually.
Oh my God!
Yeah. So we're going to bring in these Jewish.
That was
men.
another one. People came up to me. Are you really going to do the dating game?
We have rich Jewish guys. And Ileana can't. They'll be on the other side of this curtain over here, right? And Ileana will talk to him like the dating game. She'll ask him questions, and she'll figure out which one she wants to marry. So, right, the Bachelorette.
The Bachelorette.
There you
SOMA's Bachelorette.
Yeah. But Nick. So, getting back to you because I know you're sitting here going, "What are these two morons talking about?" Right, yeah, I'm busy.
I was just going to watch The 5 on Fox, so we're good.
That's right. You got
Oh my God!
That's right. Yeah.
Sort of.
The 5. Now remember when Shepard Smith was there, and they had it was he actually did a real news show on Fox. At that hour, the Shepard Smith report was like real news, and
I like the judge. I like her.
yeah, but then I got the 5, which is opinion. It's very interesting. So that's another interesting topic. So these news programs, Morning Joe. Did you see this whole thing with Morning Joe,
Oh,
where
yeah.
they went to Mar-a-Lago to kiss
God.
Donald Trump's ring,
And the view's freaking out.
right, the views freaking out. So basically, they've been going after Trump for all these. He's a Nazi. He's horrible. He's a Nazi. Now all of a sudden they're like, well, we had a conversation with him, and we're gonna have dialogue with him. So bullshit. It's all bullshit. But what are your thoughts on the media? Where do you get your news? And do I'm sure you've heard people say, well, is that what Fox News told you? I'm sure you get that one a lot.
That's always the go-to. I mean, I'll watch anything. I mean, I was even watching clips of Morning Joe when Trump was on multiple times.
Yeah.
Like so nice to him, hugging him, like hugging. Is her name Mika? Micah? What's her name?
Yeah.
Mia, whatever.
Yeah, Mika, right? Mika, is it
Mika?
Mika?
Is it?
I think Mika. Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, he's Joe, right? So, So I don't know if you knew this. I worked at Fox News for many years. I was a news producer over there at Fox.
I can't believe you really say it out loud.
Yeah,
I work
so-
for Fox.
But I'm going to tell you, it was when I first got there, which was a long, long time ago. It was kind of like all like just New Yorkers. The Fox was the lowest rated, network at the time, and so we were all just trying to.
Is it true? It's the highest rated right now?
Oh, now,
Fox?
yeah.
Over CNN and all those.
By far, yeah. They dominate the. But what it was is basically so. But it went from like we're just trying to build a network here a sustainable network. Then it kind of went to like maybe we're trying to beat CNN. Then it kind of went to like we're going to try to influence elections and that type of stuff. But it's very frustrating, because. People say, "Oh, you worked at Fox." They assume something of me, so I'm sure you get the same type of thing. Oh,
Well, I
Republican
think
Fox.
people think that because you work for Fox, you're a Republican automatically. Is that true?
What? No, I mean it wasn't like it was during the interview. There wasn't.
Oh,
a
back
question.
in the day, it wasn't like that.
No, they just thought I was really handsome, so they hired me on the spot. All those beautiful blonde anchors. I was. They
Dude, have you seen the kind of makeup they have? I could tell from the camera.
This is a true
tons
story.
of makeup they have.
I was sitting. I won't
Like
tell
Lee right now.
Right.
Yeah.
There was in the morning. I see the morning show. One of the anchors came in off the street, and she hadn't gone to makeup yet. And I swear where this happened. She sat down next to me and she talked to me for 10 minutes, and I thought she was some new kid just starting, some new producer starting. I had a 10-minute conversation with her. She said, I'll be right back. Oh, okay. And she just walked out, and then she came back to me and sat down in the same seat, and it was...
The glamour was on.
I didn't realize it was her. I've been working with this woman for like a year. Yeah.
And Matt put makeup on. You can see it from the TV with that strong line.
Yeah.
The whole...
Yeah, so that was Ainsley Earhart, actually. So I probably shouldn't have mentioned that out loud.
Nice.
But anyway, so Ainsley looks much different without makeup. But still, by the way, still a beautiful woman. But just a lot different. It's
No, the makeup can do...
It's amazing. It's amazing.
Can
what
do
they-
some changes.
Yeah. So this has been great. Nick, really appreciate you coming down. Again, we just wanted to kind of get a feel for what it's like.
From the Republican side.
We're not evil, I swear.
No,
we actually
yeah,
would.
you
I
know
could probably
what?
have a beer with you, and we probably have a great time.
I'm sure
You know what I mean? So
will.
it's not really as bad as it
People of
seems.
SOMA, I think, and can you cue the music? I'd like to end this on a little speech I have prepared, Ileana, about
Bee Gees?
the importance of us all getting along and being one community and being together and striving together and
Are
thriving
you going to
together.
sing Bob Marley or something? Every little thing, it's going to be all right.
You were right, you can't sing. I'm sorry. No, that was actually very good.
No, I cannot sing.
Do it again. I like
Or the John Lennon.
Yeah. Which was
All the people.
Was that all we were saying? Give peace a
living
chance.
in a-
I think
that
we're singing
one.
different songs here. Yeah. You know what? I'm gonna get some crap for this. I do not like John Lennon.
I don't like his attitude.
Yeah, I like the
his.
people,
I don't blame you.
I like a couple of his songs, but he was a little arrogant. He thought he was
Yeah,
the
a
guy,
little bit, yeah.
which, to be granted, I get it. But I didn't like his personality.
I believe I feel he insists upon himself.
You know which concert I went last week? Morrissey. He was in New Jersey.
Oh yeah.
packed.
That's your favorite, right?
Yeah,
The Smiths and all that. That's a good
yeah,
thing,
and there was a couple of people from Maplewood there that I saw. They posted they were at that concert in Newark. It was a really good concert. I like the Smith. I mean, Nor Morrissey.
All right, yeah, look at you. The
Yeah,
Smiths,
I went there again.
Yeah, how'd you get into the Smiths in Dominican Republic? Figured you would have been like, you would have been into music with like cowbells and things like that. You know, like the.
We need more cowbell.
Oh my God.
Tequila, right?
No, that's not what we
No.
do. No. That's kind of like a little. I don't know. Maybe I don't know.
All right, well, I think we're going to wrap things up, ladies and gentlemen. So, Nick, thank you very much for coming out, my friend.
Yeah, thank
Pleasure
you.
meeting you. And, you ladies and gentlemen, if
You see, guys, Republicans are friends.
that's right. If you want to vote Republican, reach out to Nick. He'll tell you how to do that, right? Yeah, right. And Ileana, I guess until we meet again.
Yep.
All right. Good night, everybody.
The views, thoughts, and opinions expressed are the speaker's own and do not represent the views, thoughts, and opinions of the SOMA Talks podcast. The material and information presented here is for general information purposes only. The SOMA Talk podcast name in all forms and abbreviations are the property of its owner, and its use does not imply endorsement of or opposition to any specific organization, product, or service.